I think I made a couple of mistakes in 2 big games that I think really hurt our team, and I never wanted to do that.
Going back a number of years, why did Coach Smith tell you not to retire as early as he did?
You know, I think he missed it desperately the first 2 or 3 years and felt like that he could still do it, and he loved the game so much. But he got tired of the media, he got tired of the recruiting, he got tired of the alumni meetings. He let the feelings that he had for everything on the outside dominate his decision. And I think that's what it was, because after he was out, after he was retired, I think he felt like that he should have put up with the other stuff just to stay coaching a little longer. And, you know, so he said 66, and I said, I'm not setting a timetable, but so when I got past 66, I felt like I'd delivered on my promise to him.
I understand you were watching a women's soccer game when it hit you. How are you handling retirement now?
Oh, it has its good moments. I didn't have to go to media day. That was the best moment so far. Yeah, Wanda and I went to a women's soccer game. All of a sudden I realized I was no longer the basketball coach. And it was an unusual feeling. And so that was the first little hurdle to get by. The second little hurdle was the night before practice started. And it just hit me pretty hard that night. That,
really?
First time in 48 years, I'm not going to walk out on that court with a whistle. I wanted to be a coach starting in the 9th grade. I don't think I'll have nearly that kind of depth of sadness on the first game day. I'm sure I'll have some kind of feeling, but nothing like not being a coach any longer.
You don't think he was ready to retire?
I think he probably would have enjoyed continuing to coach, because I think there's relatively few things in his life that gave him as much joy. But at the same time, I mean, he's no spring chicken, and his body's starting to fall apart on him, and like, he deserves it. Relax a little bit. I don't think he's ever been scared of making a decision, and never been scared of the repercussions. If it felt right and he thought it was the right thing to do, he did it.
I haven't had second thoughts, but you still have ideas that come through and you say, wonder, but I really felt that it was the right time. And I did not know if I would ever be retired. I didn't have a plan, because I was, if we had won a big tournament and I croaked the next day, it would have been okay.
I think that he is satisfied in his decision, and so I'm happy for him for that. There was a lot of sadness also, just that that wasn't going to be what he did anymore, knowing how much he loved it and everything. Even just telling us about it and stuff, he got emotional talking about it, and I just remember being like, wait, is he for real? And then he just kind of kept talking, and it was like, oh, like he really is, like, this is really it.
He calls and he says, look, I got to talk to you about something. I've given this a lot of thought. I just don't think I'm the right person for the job anymore. I'm quiet. He's crying on the phone. I'm still quiet. He finally stops talking, and I say, hey, that's great, but is the Nike and Coca-Cola contract still going to extend past your actual coaching years? And he pauses for a second. He's like, I just told you I'm retiring, and that's where you go? And I was like, yes, you don't understand how great it is. I don't have to buy shoes for my kids. And my refrigerator's always stocked with Powerade. And he hung up on me shortly thereafter. He was like, I guess you're not having a problem with this. And I said, no, congrats.
Why, if not for the pandemic, do you think you would have ended up coaching longer?
It was just a hard year. The pandemic had a factor in it, there's no question. I don't think I became as close to our players. You know, my biggest thing is, next to last year of coaching, I think I made a couple of mistakes in 2 big games that I think really hurt our team, and I never wanted to do that, and I had a difficult time handling that over the summer. I never had that feeling that I really cost us a game until 2 years ago. And I made some mistakes, God almighty, I made more mistakes than anybody's ever coached. And then last year, 2021, we didn't have fall conditioning. We didn't have the 12-minute run the first day of classes where I bring the guys to my house. and we sit down and talk about our dreams and goals. We didn't have the pickup games with all our former players who are pros coming back and playing pickup game with our guys. We didn't have all those things of team building. All of those things contributed, I think, to my feeling of not doing as good a job as I'd done in the past.
Why do you feel it's just generally difficult to communicate with players in the way that was able to happen in earlier days?
The reason in my mind is the world in athletics and sports, and particularly in college basketball, has changed dramatically over the years. It's college basketball, even at the University of North Carolina, for most of those great players, is just a little bus stop on the way to the NBA. That's all they think about. And I think that the parents may think about it even more than the players do. And so I want guys to come to North Carolina who have a desperate desire to win a national championship. And oh yeah, I have the same kind of desire to be an NBA player. It's harder to get both of those now.
Why do you think that changed?
Money, fame, and fortune. NBA. It's a big monster. I love watching our guys play in the NBA, and I'm thrilled when on draft night when those guys. Some of my favorite moments have been when I've heard my kids' names on draft night.
What do you think of players now being able to profit off their name and likeness?
Oh boy, this interview's not going to last long enough to get all my thoughts. I sit on the fence a little bit. Long time ago, Peyton Manning is one of my heroes, and Peyton wrote me the nicest note. I've met him a couple of times, and after my retirement, handwritten note, which I was thrilled to get. But Peyton, one year at Tennessee, had his name on the back of the football jersey the first game, and they sold like 50,000, and Peyton didn't get 1 cent. Now that's not right, okay? That's just not right, and I've always thought that. But the other side of it is that the NCAA and the universities and the athletic directors and the coaches have all made life so much better for a student athlete now than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And saying all this, why should someone be prohibited from making money if they can do it? And yet, boy, I don't know how it's going to work out in the locker room if you're making a heck of a lot of money and I'm not making any. We would autograph 1,200 basketballs every year, and we'd sell them. And then we'd give them to charities around town. Over $2 million in my 18 years. And now it's hard to say, okay, come on and sign these things when they may be able to go to a store and sign and get $10 per autograph. You know, so there's some things that are going to be lost, but team building is the biggest to me. But some kids, you know, they're going to like having money in their pocket, but they're still going to try to beat you up on game night, and that's what I would hang my hat on, of being able to still coach. Name, image, and likeness had nothing to do with my decision to retire.